Hello and welcome to The Print. I'm Snehesh Alex Philip. It's been almost a week since the Pahalgam attack, in which 25 tourists, of which 24 were Hindus, one Christian, and one local Kashmiri pony operator, was killed by terrorists. Now, this is the attack has been carried out by what is known as the Resistance Front, which is nothing but a frontal organization for the Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Toiba. Now, to understand why this attack took place, the situation in Kashmir, and what lies ahead, I have with me the formidable Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, and namaskar to all your viewers.
Thank you, sir. Now, viewers, I know that he doesn't need any introduction. You all know him by now, but I'd like to tell you that he has been the former co-commander of the Chinar Corps, that is the Srinagar-based 15 Corps, and during very critical period from February 2019 to March 2020. So he's witnessed the Pulwama attack, he's witnessed the Balakot strike. He's also witnessed and was part of the abrogation of Article 370, and after that he came to the army headquarters and took over as the chief of the DIA, which is a tri-service intelligence agency. So my first question to you is: the Pahalgam attack a security and intelligence lapse?
Thank you, Snehesh, and good evening to all your viewers. See, this is a question which comes to everyone's mind.
Absolutely.
So I'll answer this question in two parts: security and intelligence. Firstly, when you look at it, by Saran Valley, it is about 5 to 7 minutes drive from Pahalgam town, and then about 30-40 minutes of walk up the hill track. And it's an isolated valley, beautiful grazing pasture with the pine trees all around, dense forest, and connectivity there is very poor, the mobile connectivity. And any reaction would take minimum 30 to 40 minutes, even if the reaction is ready at the roadhead. So when the target was selected as Baisaran Valley, and it is a valley which is frequented by the travelers. Now, first thing which comes to mind is, why was there no security at all in the Baisaran Valley per se? If it's a tourist place, if the tourists, anything 200, 500, 1,000 are visiting there every day, and it's the beginning of the tourist season, there should have been a police post, or there should have been some police CRPF presence to give local protection to the tourists who are going there. But tourists themselves are unarmed and innocent. So that is first thing. I think people in the charge of things would be looking at it as to why there was zero presence of any security forces personnel, and terrorists could do what they did at will and in their own sweet time. They took more than 20 odd minutes to do all this, cold-blooded murders and killings. So that is first question about security per se. And of course, there is security forces, there are police presence in the Pahalgam town and other areas. But this Baisaran Valley per se is a big question mark. Because this I'm talking from the reports which are available in the media.
Yeah.
If there was some police presence and they did not react, that is a secondary thing. But as per the available reports, it seems there was no police presence. That is the security aspect. I agree with you. I think there is a security lapse there. Now, coming to intelligence failure. What happens is intelligence operatives work around the clock. And they would, nullify, or they would not let a lot of things happen, and which enemy country would have planned. And we would understand one thing here: we are not dealing with any ragtag terrorist organization or a local organization. We are dealing with a country sponsoring this whole thing. The whole machinery of the country, the military, the intelligence, and other things is behind what's happening in Kashmir. So a lot of things are not allowed to happen by intelligence agencies and security forces. But this one has passed through the intelligence network, and this incident happened to be a very big one. Now, I'll give you how intelligence is gathered. In Pahalgam town per se, there will be local informers who would inform about the presence of any outsider.
Yeah.
Or there would be a chatter picked up on the mobile network, which would be intercepted and analyzed. Or there would be other inputs of technical and human intelligence nature. Now, in a town like Pahalgam or a valley like Pahalgam, including the subsidiary valleys, where the local people are only about 20 to 25%. Even the pony walas, the hotel walas, the dhaba walas, the sumo walas, they also come from all over Kashmir, as well as Rajouri and Poonch, as far as Rajouri and Poonch. And there's so many tourists who come there in the morning and go back in the evening. There's so many dhabas, restaurants which open up on a temporary basis with workers from Kashmir or outside.
Yeah.
So practically every day there are thousands of mobile phones which are getting active in Kashmir, Pahalgam Valley, and thousands of mobile phones by that evening are getting deactivated or they're going out of Pahalgam Valley. So picking up a chatter on internet or on mobile network becomes very difficult when the number of new mobiles which open up in the area are so many. See, in a village, if a new mobile opens up, you can pick it up because other mobiles are known. But now here, 95% mobiles are opening for a day and then getting silent. So it's very difficult to pick up intelligence. And when more than 80% people are outsiders, how can someone inform you that sir bahar ka aadmi aaya hua hai yahan pe? Bahar ke kuch aadmi dikhai diye. And today's weapon systems, they deassemble them and put them in a sack or put them in a bag. And they're very easy to be carried without being noticed. And 2, 3, 4 people getting merged in the crowd and then going to the place, doing their recce for 2, 3, 4 days, and finally striking at will at the time of own choosing. So I will not call it an intelligence failure. It is just that this particular intelligence input could not be intercepted in time. But security lapse, yes. If the reports in the media are correct, then there is a security lapse.
So there is, so you would say that there was a security lapse. So if why do you think this attack was carried out? Now, there is an unwritten rule in Kashmir, at least that's what I've been told, is the fact that tourists will not be touched. Because when tourism gets affected, the local population gets affected. Terrorists don't want to, sever the connection with the local population, and hence tourists are not targeted, is what I've been told. But why this attack has been carried out on tourists? And they singled out, Hindus among the tourists and shot them.
Yeah, Snehesh, yes, you're right. There is an unwritten understanding in Kashmir or amongst the Kashmiri terrorists not to target the tourists and yatris. Yeah. Although there have been few stray incidents where tourists and yatris have been targeted in the past, and those were the numbers were very, very small, or maybe 2, 3, 5, 7. And last few years it has not happened per se. Yeah. Now you have to connect this with few things which are happening in Pakistan. Kashmir, the peace is returning after 5th of August 2019. A lot of Kashmiris are coming in. A lot of khushhali or progress is happening. Schools are open. Students are going to the school. The tourists are coming. The shops are booming. The economy is booming. And all these things are happening, and which is not acceptable to Pakistan. The narrative that Pakistan was playing was that Kashmir all is not well. Now here everything, and given the internet and the social media today, the videos were flowing all across the world that Kashmir is Kashmiris are happy, Kashmir is happy. Lal Chowk, where there used to be buns and burning of Indian flags, today it's a peaceful thing. People go out for a stroll in the evening. Absolutely. So this is what was not acceptable to Pakistan. The second thing which has happened is Pakistan's own economy is in doldrums. PKR versus the dollar, the petrol, diesel prices, the chini, chai patti, atta, chawal, their prices are booming. And then Pakistan military is being questioned for their existence for the first time in last 75 years. Pakistan military has never been questioned in that country, even after a debacle of 1971 and 93,000 prisoners of war. Even at that time, the army was never questioned. Now today, you've seen the videos of people barging into the Corps Commander's house and opening his refrigerators and other things. And today, all across country, may it be Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, may it be Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, may it be Balochistan, may it be Sindh, everywhere the people are raising a slogan, "Ye jo dahshatgardi hai, iske piche vardi hai." That means they're openly challenging, and we see so many videos of openly challenge to the military. Now, that is not acceptable to the army. So what they did was, and they now connected with the Pakistan Army Chief Asif Munir's statement about 5 to 7 days prior to
Yeah.
Pahalgam attack, where he made two pertinent points. One is that Kashmir is a jugular vein for Pakistan. And second point he said was that Hindus and Muslims are different, basically, promoting the two nation theory. And he says that Muslims are better than Hindus. So these 2 points. Now, Kashmir is a jugular vein. The terrorist attack within a week happened in Kashmir. And Hindus and Muslims are different. The terrorists separated out, segregated out Hindus from other people and killed them in cold blood in front of their wives, children, sisters, brothers, and parents.
Yeah.
Now, this is no jihad. This is pure obnoxious barbarianism. This is criminal. No person whose upbringing has been good, whose parenting has been good, whose schooling has been good, can even imagine a thing like this, leave apart doing it. How gut-wrenching it is to even think of things like this. And these barbarians have done it.
Yeah.
And the precision with which it has been carried out, this attack. Selection of objective, like I already explained, away from the roadhead, walking distance, connectivity poor, reinforcements cannot be called in time. They would have reckoned and realized there is no security forces presence and innocent civilians are coming there. And then they did the attack between 2:30 to 3 o'clock. And even if after about 15, 20, and they finished the killings within 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That means even if someone started from roadhead, he would reach in 30 to 35 minutes. Before that, they would vanish into the jungle.
Absolutely.
And then 3:15 or so, they get into the jungle. That gave them 2.5 hours to about 3 hours of daylight hours to reach their hideout and get tucked in. Whereas security forces would take time, firstly because of poor connectivity, the information will reach delayed. Then security forces will get ready, come to the roadhead, dismount, climb up the 40 minutes, come to Baisaran Valley, analyze what has gone wrong or where all things have happened and which side they would have gone, and then start the hot pursuit. This would give a clear lead of about 1 hour to 1.5 hours. So this is the military precision, I always say, and this is not a handiwork of a terrorist organization. Earlier attacks on tourists and yatris were random attacks. Bus aa rahi hai, bus ke upar firing kar diya. That is, opportunity attacks sort of a thing. They saw an opportunity and they fired. This was a planned thing where they carried out the recce, and this planning couldn't have been done by a terrorist organization. And that to a front like TRF. This planning was carried out in the military headquarters of Pakistan, inside Pakistan, and the whole thing was coordinated, directed, and executed from military war rooms of Pakistan military and ISI. So this is the reason Pakistan wanted to divert attention from their local problems, their domestic problems, and the only thing which binds Pakistan together is religion and Kashmir. So both these aspects are brought into this attack so that the domestic issues of Pakistan don't get so much of limelight, and every Pakistani unites behind the Pakistan military to protect them, protect Islam, protect and carry on the jihad in Kashmir. Now, point about jihad. Killing innocent civilians in front of their kith and kin, including children and wives, is no jihad.
Absolutely.
Is no liberation war. And I would say this is not an attack on tourists. This is an attack on poor Kashmiri. A Kashmiri who is running a dhaba, who is running a restaurant, who is driving a sumo, who is handling a pony, who has a shikara, who has a houseboat, who has a hotel staff, or who's selling namda, dabas, carpets, or paper mache, or some walnut furniture or dry fruits. It is an attack on their livelihood. And if Pakistan is saying they're carrying out this jihad for the Kashmiri people, how could they be so brutal and attack the livelihood of the same Kashmiri people for whom they're supposed to be carrying out this jihad? So this is no jihad, this is no liberation war, this is pure act of nonsense, barbarianism, and criminal killing of innocent people.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. And, interesting that you mentioned that since 2019, there has been considerable development in Kashmir. I've traveled to Kashmir several times. I've seen the infrastructure development taking place. I've seen the economic boom that is there. You will find a lot more Kashmiris are now studying in various other parts of India, right? They're stepping out of Kashmir into other parts of India. They are working outside Kashmir. So I think somewhere, as you rightly mentioned, Pakistan was perturbed by this, because if you look at the numbers, the terror recruitment, the local terror recruitment is at an all-time low. For example, if we talk about Pulwama, viewers, in Pulwama, which used to be the hotbed of terrorism in South Kashmir, in the last 2 years, there has been zero recruitment. Of about 80 odd terrorists who are operating in Kashmir as of now between south and north, about 64, 65 of them are foreign terrorists. So, what is this freedom struggle which is being run by foreign terrorists? I think this is something that Pakistan was perturbed about. So you mentioned that this was something that was planned and executed from Pakistan. I completely agree with you on that. But now what has happened. Like 26 innocent lives have been lost. There have been large scale protests in Kashmir by the local Awam against this terror attack. I did an interview with the PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti, and I was very surprised when she said that the people who carried out this attack are terrorists, and she said they should be punished. So, but what happens after this? How do you think the Indian government will react or should react?
Snehesh, I'll answer this in two parts. Firstly, I'll answer about Kashmir, and then I will talk about the Indian response. First part is Kashmir. See, the economic development or the infrastructure development or the peace process which has started in Kashmir, zero stone pelting, more or less zero recruitment of local youth, zero terrorist activities by the local youth. And this peace process, the stakeholders are Kashmiri Awam.
Absolutely.
Now, this is a this is an irreversible process. When economics drives peace, more peace will bring in more economic development or economic growth, and more economic growth will be making way for more peace. So
Absolutely.
this process is irreversible. Of course, this jolt has come in, and there would be a little bit of a downfall or a little bit of a dip in the incoming tourist, and maybe some yatris. But slowly and slowly, things will pick up again. Security forces will do their analysis and re-establish the security grid and make sure the public gets that confidence in the security forces and intelligence agencies. That is one part. This peace process is irreversible. Pakistan cannot do anything now. As you brought out, more than 80% terrorists are of Pakistani origin. That only shows that locals are no more interested in terrorism now. They just want to reap the dividends of peace.
Absolutely.
And they're stakeholders in it. That is one. Now, coming to India's response. See, as our Honorable Prime Minister very clearly said, that it is going to be a very heavy response. And when we talk about response, we think about Uri surgical strikes, Pulwama, Balakot air strikes. Those were pure military options which were exercised. In Uri incident, only the army was utilized, and in Balakot, the air force was utilized. But this time, to my understanding, it is going to be a whole of nation approach. It is going to be a comprehensive national power which will be applied against a terrorist state called Pakistan. And when I say comprehensive national power or whole of nation approach, it would include military options, it would include diplomatic options. Few of them have already been listed out.
Absolutely.
Like holding in abeyance of Indus Water Treaty, pruning down of embassy staff, calling back of defense attaches, and some restrictions on visas and other things. So those are diplomatic initiatives. So military options, diplomatic options, political options, economic options, and certain options which we don't talk about, but they are done. So all this combined together, may it be in conjunction with each other or may it be standalone, at the time and place of own choosing. Now, the two most important aspects of national response. One is, it is India who will decide the time and place and the quantum and the quality of the response. It may be one single action. It may be a coordinated multiple actions simultaneously. It could be a coordinated multiple actions in a staggered in time and space, so that we keep the enemy guessing. And the second thing is, most important thing is, Pakistan would be told in no unclear terms, if you retaliate, if you do anything in response to India's actions, the retaliation will be so heavy that it would be unacceptable to Pakistan. So that message has to go out loud and clear, and we have to put an end to this nonsense once and for all. And let's not get carried away by this saber rattling of nuclear threats and other things. We can talk that in detail, but India's response will be a comprehensive national response and application of comprehensive national power at the time and place of own choosing, either staggered, standalone, or in conjunction with multiple options.
But you're absolutely sure that India is going to strike back, at the time and place of its choosing, maybe in staggered manner, but India is going to use the comprehensive national power.
Absolutely. My mind is very clear on this. This is how India is going to do it. And our political hierarchy has very clearly, described it in no uncertain terms. And our political hierarchy is not the one which will say something and then not live up to it. So going by that, I'm very sure there is going to be a massive response. And that is the reason Pakistan has already started talking peace now. The typical copybook style, handling of situation by Pakistan. Musharraf did the same thing after parliament attack. Shahbaz Sharif is doing the same thing.
So, in your sense, when I go through social media, now in social media, there's a lot of people who would say, "Ki boss, ho gaya, bas ho gaya, ghus jao." So, for our viewers, do you think an all-out war makes sense, or do you think sustained pressure, sustained military tactics, and other tactics which we don't talk about is something that which you don't want to talk about is something that India should follow, or is this a situation that calls for an all-out war?
Snehesh, social media people, they write, comment, tweet, or post based on emotions, and rightly so. Emotions of the nation are hurt. People are feeling bad about this incident, especially the way it has been carried out and the cruelty involved in it.
Yeah.
Pulwama, Uri, the casualties in Pulwama were much higher. But then it was a terrorist attack against a security force. Now, here, the cruelty involved, the type of segregation on basis of religion, killing of people in front of their mothers, daughters, sisters, and wives. This is what has hurt the conscience of the nation, the psyche of the nation. And that's why people are asking for revenge or, avenge this attack. But nations and militaries do not take action based on emotions or revengeful attitude. Nations and militaries don't go out with badle ki bhavna. Nations and militaries go out becoming more resolute, becoming more sashakt, becoming more majboot, and going with full might and the anticipated end state which they want to achieve. So nations and militaries very maturely carry out their plans and actions and don't go by emotional outbursts. So that is first thing. Now, second thing is, what you are saying, ki abhi ghus jao. That is exactly what I made a point in the previous interjection. We will go in at time, place of our own choosing. We will decide the quantum, we will decide the quality, we will decide how deep and where all and what all options we will access. So that is where, the second thing is, the whole world is standing with us. We have to understand, we are the biggest or the largest democracy in the world. People prefer to do business with democracy. We are the 1/6 of the world in population. Or in other words, we are 1/6 of the world in market. So people have to do business with us. We are the 5th largest economy, going to be the 3rd largest economy. So people have to do business with us. Pakistan is the terrorist state. Anywhere terror act in the world, the dots get connected to Pakistan. So the world is already fed up of Pakistan. And it's the only nuclear Islamic terrorist state in the world. And today, there are two threats which are causing concern to the world. One is the Islamic terrorism, second is the nuclear weapons. And both of them are in Pakistan and both of them are not very safe. So world also wants India to do something wherein the world becomes a better place to live. So all these things combined together, and almost all the countries in the world have supported us, other than one or two which always stand with Pakistan, but they are also speaking in a little hushed tone. So it will be interesting to see how world supports us and how we go in, and in case Pakistan tries something, how we go in for a bigger action with it.
Well, thank you so much, sir, for speaking to the print. I think you were very candid enough to admit the fact that the attack was indeed a security failure. But you've also gone ahead and said that India is going to respond in a massive way at the time and place of its choosing. And you are of the firm opinion that India will respond, and this would be a whole of nation approach. The full force of India would be visible in the coming days. But thank you so much, sir, for speaking to the print. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Snehesh, and all the very best.
Thank you. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.